Okay, so I'm going to walk through and take a look at all the construction we're having done. This is to help document like where some of the irrigation lines are being put and things like that. So we're having this over here done in concrete so we can put the garbage and recycling cans there. Step is being redone in concrete. And then over here we're adding 4 foot of concrete to facilitate pulling in and backing out cars. And over here we're adding a 20 foot by 2 foot wide strip to the driveway, also to allow cars to pull further forward because probably next year when Jordy starts driving we're going to have yet another car. So there's our stream bed. So you can see all the trenches that they have excavated for the irrigation system. That all got torn up because they completely regraded the backyard, and so they need to make it work again. We're going to be having centipede grass put in. That is a warm season grass. And kind of following this curve here, to the left is going to be a raised area where you can see the stakes over there are marking out where there's going to be a pond and patio around the pond, and the patio will be extending underneath the deck and screen porch. And that's, I'll show you where that's staked out over here. So again, this is just a little bit different view of the driveway, some of the nice boulders we're going to get. So the boulders are going to be used along this curved section as the transition from this upper level down to the lower level, which will just be a nice big flat lawn area. So here we can see that they've tied in some drainage. I'll have to talk to them about that because we don't want to have the black pipe coming above grade. But you know, all this drainage is going to go back through here, and I guess we'll have to find out what's happening here, but it should be tying in, and then, oh, I see, it comes out into the stream bed over there. Okay, and then that'll follow the stream bed down. I can see there's one down there that comes out in the stream bed too, just in front of the bobcat. So anyhow, so that's drainage, I see. And then this black pipe here looks like it has the irrigation water supply and electrical cords going in it. So I guess it's for protection. Okay, so anyhow, let me kind of go back up here. So you can see we were able to excavate significantly under the deck. And if I come look in here, you can see kind of right above that black pipe there is where the mulch and soil line was. So they've gone down below that, looks like about 2 feet to 3 feet depending on the location. And so that's going to give us a lot of nice headroom. I mean, there's lots of room right now to the screen porch. Now you can see that there's been some damage to our 6x6 posts holding up the deck and screen porch and things. Those are all going to go away. The deck is going to be demolished, and instead we're going to have a total of 4 brick columns. So there'll be one under the far corner of the screen porch, one under the corner of the new addition on the far side, one on the near corner of the new addition, which is just this section here. You know, this section here where we have our dining is going to be extended out, and it's going to come out to where you see those 6x6 posts right now. And then there's going to be one more column over here, and you can see these 3 posts right here. The deck is going to be extended out 3 more foot, and then the stairs down from the deck are going to be on the far side to my right. Okay, and so right where I'm standing here is going to be some patio, and then right here these stakes are marking out, I think it's about 20 foot by 16 foot pond, and then there's also some patio on the opposite side, and then over there where that little mound of soil is, Let me go a little closer. So it's that little mound over there. It's got some stakes around it. That's going to be a fire pit right next to that little tree there on the right. Okay, so continuing on over here to look at the yard. So it looks like we've got some more drainage coming out here, and then also the irrigation stuff following through. So you can see how the irrigation goes up there and how the drainage goes down there. In that back corner over there is a storm drain, and in this other corner over here is a storm drain. So we're directing all of the drainage out toward the back, toward those storm drains. Okay, and you can see, I was talking to the guys right up there, that is where the original main line of the irrigation system came out, and those two smaller lines, what they said was that those are lines that feed back up to the zones in the front yard. So I thought that was a little interesting. But anyhow, they're going to piece that all back together. I'm not sure what's going to go in back here in this trench. I assume it's going to be part of the irrigation for the back portion. So this whole dirt area down here should be level when they're done. Okay, so the idea is that this whole down lower section is going to be mostly flat from that tree line over there all the way over to the fence over here, so that we have a nice big flat area for the kids to play football, for playing volleyball, for whatever we want to do. Okay, so if we go back over this, looks like they have some more trenches dug, but no pipe or irrigation lines laid yet. This is going all the way up toward the front of the house. I'm not sure exactly what this transition is going to be like. You can see where they cut into the grass up there. So where they cut in, that sort of delineates how far we're going to go up with the centipede grass. Okay, so here again, you can kind of see this raised area here around the new patio and porch. Again, that's what I mentioned a minute ago, where you have those two smaller lines, water lines, that go back up toward the front zones of the irrigation system. Here we have a really big storm drain that's going out toward the back of the property, and it's taking irrigation, looks like from the front gutters up in the front corner of the house all the way down, and then tying in here, and also taking it from the back gutters. I'm not sure where that little Y is supposed to feed from. I'll have to ask them what that's for. So let's see if I can get down without killing myself. Okay, so again, you can see how much they were able to excavate down here. What we're talking about doing right now is we're going to have to put down about 8 inches in total of gravel and then the patio pavers. And we had this edge from the foundation footer we didn't know how to address, and we talked about different things. Obviously we're going to cut it to more of a straight edge and knock off these overhangs, but we couldn't get rid of the whole thing. And the landscaper, Mark Sanborn, had suggested that maybe we build some sort of like a bench to cover it or something like that. But instead, what we decided to do is to go ahead and just bring the gravel and the level of the patio up to be even with this. This surface then will be even with the patio pavers. It won't be as nicely finished, but it's pretty flat. And I just decided I'd rather have that than have some sort of a bench, you know, infringing on our usable space back here. So this crawl space door is going to be replaced by a full-size door, and this window over here is going to be taken out and replaced by, I think it's 2 significantly larger windows, so we'll have a lot more visibility. Let me take you into the crawl space now so we can see what we have going on in here. Okay, so you can see we have our furnace and everything here. But basically we've got two pretty big areas that we wanted to excavate down and put in a concrete slab so that this area could finally be used more like a basement. So the kids could bring our ping pong table down here, they could put in some chairs just to goof around, play games, what have you. And then we've got this area over here, which I would like to use as more of a workshop area so I can get some of that stuff out of our garage and put it in down here. And so the way that it worked out with the footers is that there's a footer between these columns right here, so they weren't able to dig through that. There's also a footer on this side of this column that extends pretty far down. So this area here is at a slightly lower level. I think it's about 6 inches lower than this layer area over here will be. So there'll be a slight step up after the concrete is poured. Okay, but you can kind of see, and this still has pretty decent headroom. I'm about to take the measurements and see what it actually is, but it gives you an idea. And they're also going to be building a little knee wall all around this area, so the area that's not concrete, it's still going to be dirt floor, but with a vapor barrier on it, we'll be able to use as storage, kind of like you see here. And this is just everything thrown in there because they had to clear off this area. But you get the idea. So there'll be a nice shelf, basically, of concrete. And you can kind of see again here we had the footer, and it has sort of a rough edge, and they were able to chip it off a little bit over here, even it up a little bit, and then they're going to pour a wall here, and then a top surface going back to these 2x4s. So it'll be like a nice little shelf area where you could put things or sit or whatever. Okay. And of course I'll have to get rid of these hanging shelves that I installed. So anyhow, that's kind of how things look.